Hi, welcome back to the channel. I am about 2 weeks behind on this, so let's get to it.
Going in! 3, 2, 1, go!
So today is December 31st, so I am going to show you a little bit of what I did last week leading up to Christmas, and we can talk about what I've done since then.
Alright, so it is, it's Wednesday, just finished another 3 miles. As you may remember at the end of the last video, it was Monday and I did 3 miles. Out here in the snow, it is way icier today because it rained all day yesterday. So there's a lot more slick spots and I had to go a lot slower, but miles is miles. My motto when I'm on vacation like this in the middle of a training cycle is just keep moving and get what you can. I did do my first Peloton workout in like weeks yesterday instead of running. I did a body weight class. I love those body weight classes for when you're traveling because you don't need anything. Tell you what, I can tell I haven't done any strength training in a while because I am a little sore. That could be another reason why I was going a little slower today. I'm a little sore. But really not much is going to be going on training-wise. Exciting though that the event guide for Marathon Weekend and Disneyland both dropped yesterday. I'm kind of sad that our Disneyland half marathon is not running through Angels Stadium. Angels in the Outfield was one of the movies that I used to watch with my grandfather who, passed away earlier this year. So I was kind of looking forward to running through there and, just having a moment to remember him. But I think we run by it, so maybe we can still see it from the course. We'll see. But other than that, it's just gave me another little pep in my step to get through these last few weeks before my last big race weekend for the running season, really. So I'm gonna give myself a lot of just easy time off doing what I feel, because I know that once dopey training starts, assuming I get in, I do not want to burn out. Definitely do not. So yeah, I will check back in if we do something else besides run on ice. This is George and Ruby. George and Ruby. Hi, Georgie.
This is Dottie and Tootsie. They're so cute. Hi, guys. Oh, boy. So we had a great time in Washington. I was able to get a little bit of running in, which is great. It's always fun to run in different weather than I'm used to. But I tell you what, as far as vlogging goes, just completely lost any sort of schedule when it came to doing any of that. Christmas came and went. I did a little bit of running Christmas Day, day after Christmas. And then I took Wednesday and Thursday. Let's see, Christmas Day was Monday, and then I ran Tuesday. Took Wednesday, Thursday off. I ran Wednesday, took Thursday, Friday off, and then yesterday did a 13.5 mile run with one of my friends, Emily, and I'm glad I did it because just to refresh my body to what it's like to be on my feet that long. But I tell you what, my body is definitely ready for a break. My meniscus in my left knee flared up. Still hurts, like just even touching it. So I got to get that under control so that doesn't bother me in a couple of weeks when we go to Disneyland. And the reason why I'm sitting right here is because look, we're within the appropriate amount of time, at least in my opinion, for me to start packing. So that's very, very exciting. And once Disneyland is done, I'm going to be just kind of taking it easy, giving my body a break, because hopefully I will be getting into dopey, and that training will be starting sooner than I think. But we are so close to being done with this book. So we are on chapter 13 for this week. And chapter 13 is called Not enough cooks in the kitchen. And Matthew West is so funny in this chapter because he's very much like me. We're not people that cook. Okay. And he tried to make a few dishes, and it was kind of solidified the fact that he just needs to leave the cooking to someone else. But he was glad that he, took a step out of his comfort zone and tried. And he shares in here, it's scary how easy it is to watch the hours and days go by and never really engage in the world around us. Jesus said, I have come that they may have life and have it to the full. That's from John chapter 10. But many times I live as if my response to him is, hey Jesus, thanks for the offer, but I'll take a rain check. And so then he goes on to talk about, we have dreams sometimes, but we are almost kind of scared to step out in faith if God puts something on our heart that just seems absolutely crazy. And I firmly believe that when we get those things put on our heart, he wants us to rely on him and not just try to do it on our own. And Matthew Weston here says, these God-sized dreams are bigger than the very best you have to offer. Scripture is filled with stories of the greatness people discovered when they bought into their God-sized dream, daring to see beyond their own limitations and trust that God would make the impossible possible, which he's really good at, And he tells a story in here where he was asked by some sort of leader in a church close by to come sing for a group of people. He didn't really know exactly what he was getting himself into, but he gets there and it's not a prison, but it's a high security prison, and it's in like this solitary confinement area where he goes into this like room and there's all these doors and he can't even see the people's faces, and they're like, you just sing a song, and he could not think. There was no instruments or anything, I'm assuming. He doesn't talk about having any sort of band with him. It's just him. He's going to sing a cappella, and he just had absolutely no idea what song to sing. And God put a song called Only Grace in his head. He's like, okay, that's the one we're singing. And he started singing it, and one by one, the little window on the door, he could see faces starting to come up and listen to what he was singing. But that was a definite step out in faith because he was terrified. I mean, I would be scared too. But he says in here, I have come to realize that probably one of God's favorite prayers to hear from his children is, help, I've got nothing. Jesus tells us that apart from me, you can do nothing. That's from John chapter 15. I guess when we admit it, that's the best place for the Lord's bigger work to begin in our lives and in the lives of those he leads us to impact. Then just as I have felt following that prison experience, we are humbled to realize that we are just part of a miracle that was bigger than us. And from Matthew, it says, humanly speaking, it is impossible, but with God, everything is possible. And then he goes on to talk about reckless obedience and how that, it's hard for us to do that, to just be obedient when God asks us to do something despite of what may happen or what we think might happen. But reckless obedience is a result of total trust. And in that same vein, he talks about how it's really obvious a lot of times when we encounter people that are like that, and that they just exude that faith. And those are the people that most of the time are the ones that just really spend a lot of time in God's presence and, and having that quiet time. And he says, when people spend time in your presence, can they tell that you've spent time in his presence? And he shares that there was one conversation that he had with Billy Graham, who, I'm a big Billy Graham fan. But he says, I sat in Billy Graham's kitchen in the mountains of North Carolina and drank root beer with the greatest evangelist of our time. In response to me asking for advice, he said, Matthew, the success of your ministry, your family, and your entire life all hinges on the success of your time spent with the Lord. And that sounds exactly like something Billy Graham would say, because he had such a way of communicating, I think, what God wants us to hear. That's why I love Billy Graham. He did it with such ease, it seemed like. But I think that the reason why he did it with such ease is because he did that. He spent his time with the Lord, and he was like not a filter, but just like a channel, a very good channel. So he closes with, Jesus is still looking for willing hearts who recklessly obey and stay close to his heart. So that's the Not Enough Cooks in the Kitchen chapter 13. We have 2 more chapters left. And I was a little worried because I was like, I only have 2 weeks left before Disneyland, but actually the very last chapter is very appropriate for the week that it's going to land on. So the fact that I was behind just happened to work out. But I hope everybody's training is going well. I know, like I said, it's the 31st, so next weekend is marathon weekend. So if you are participating in marathon weekend, I hope that you have the best time. I can't wait to come out for that weekend again. It was such a blast. And then, like I said, we are 2 weeks away from Disneyland. Holy moly, I'm so excited. Like, I've already started packing. I got some new packing cubes, which I've never had packing cubes before, so that's super exciting for me. So excited. I can't even contain how excited I am. So be sure to give this video a like. Give me a comment. Are you doing marathon weekend and Disneyland, going for that coast to coast? It'll be interesting to see which one of those two medals is actually for the track 1 and track 2. We'll see. And be sure to subscribe. I cannot wait to share all the Disneyland stuff. I'm doing some extra things outside the races. I'm doing a tour, and I've got some dining reservations I'm super excited about, so be sure to subscribe because I will be sharing all of that. Always remember that you are God's masterpiece, and I'll see you next week.